President Cyril Ramaphosa will address both houses of Parliament today after earlier calling for an urgent session. The sitting will address and debate the rising cases of gender-based violence and femicide. Well, according to South African crime statistics, about 3,000 women were murdered last year, with one woman being killed every 3 hours. This is 5 times more than the global average. That's according to the World Health Organization. Another 41,000 cases of rape were reported between 2018 and 2019. Our reporter, Yolisa Njamela, brings us the story of one rape survivor of the rising levels of gender-based violence in South Africa.
Enough is enough. That's what these protests are about, and there's been plenty of them in this country. These women and some men want to put a stop to the abuse, violation, and the killing of women. There are endless stories. Phindile Nkrumah's is just one of them. It was in 2005, in the dead of the night. A group of men broke down her door in her Tembisa home, pointed her with a firearm. Then they took turns to violate and rape her. She would later learn that there were 8 of them. They would then take her out of her house to a deserted area and raped her once again. As if to punish her some more, she tells us that they then inserted a plastic bag in her private parts. Years later, Nkrumah is still deeply wounded by that episode. After serving a short period in prison, incarcerated for raping her, her perpetrators are out on the streets. She's had to move from her area to avoid seeing them all the time, opening her emotional and physical wounds all over again.
I told myself, you know what, I'm not going to cry anymore. I will fight. As long as I'm still alive, I will fight. And I got a job at 29 doing survivor support. For me to come from Tembisa to Joburg is a struggle. Struggling, every day struggling. Because I have to ask for the driver to pee on the way to come to Joburg because I cannot hold my urine. They mess up my bladder.
She also tells us that her pain is unbearable because she's been failed by the system. Many survivors of rape and abuse feel that society and the justice system fails them. In fact, they get re-traumatized ever so often. Gender rights activists believe that, among many other things, in order to end this scourge, socio-behavioral change programs are very key.
I'll give you the example. When we were going through the HIV/AIDS scourge for the first time, we actually had a broad-based 365-day social behavioral change program. It was on media, it was on schools, it was everywhere. There's no place where you could go where we were not told about HIV/AIDS, how to prevent it, what it is, and to end stigma around it. We're not doing that with GBV, yet we have a national crisis.
The Rise Up Against Gender-Based Violence organization works in tangent with Sonke Gender Justice. They're just 2 of many non-governmental organizations taking up this fight of women abuse and violation. Yolisa Njamela for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.